going this early.
Good passing and another open three, and offensive rebound Knox. And Kobe kicks it out and right back in, and a layup for Brandon Stroud as Jaden Reed spotted him.
Well, that's something you and I have talked about this whole year, is when you get against these bigger teams, how are the Aggies going to be able to rebound out of this zone? And early on, it looks like USF is just being able to dominate on the offensive rebounds out of that zone.
And already Jared Calhoun taking a timeout. All right, so just a quick timeout to get things settled down, and a substitution as well, as Dayton Albury checks into the game.
It looks like the Aggies are having a hard time hanging on to the ball early. They're a little fumbly with it and turn it over.
Gattaretzi with the score. Also checking in Dexter Acano, who's played very well this season. One of the Aggies scoring in double figures at 10 a game. Three-pointer on the way, and good box out by Acano, and the Aggies have the ball.
One thing the Aggies are really good at is advancing the ball, being able to get the ball up the floor quickly. And it creates shots just like that one for Eden Martinez.
How about another offensive rebound for Gattaretzi? That's his second. And he's going to go to the bench now. And the pink-shoed Carson Templin, we were talking to him before the game. He says, yeah, 5 of us are wearing these today. I see 4 of them out there anyway.
Yeah, he's starting.
Pink shoes.
He set the trend.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's starting to catch on.
One of them is Falslev, as his shot won't go.
This zone is so fun to watch because you watch the players like they're matched up in man, and they just move so seamlessly from position to position that it's hard to prep against something like that, where you're prepping for zone or you're prepping against man, and Aggies have run that so well this year.
Very good at disguising it. And that pass was a little behind Templin. He's still down. He might have got hit in the, looks like he got hit in the face as he collided with Stroud.
I think this one, it looked like it went off on the Bulls on that one.
He's up, but you saw him pound the floor. He's like, back here in Logan, kind of a smaller student section because classes were out yesterday. So got a handful of students that haven't gone home for Christmas yet. The band, in fact, thank you Logan High School for loaning Utah State their band. We have a split squad crew of cheerleaders. But the entire team's here.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
They haven't woken up yet,
I was going to say,
Gary.
Not many of them shown up yet, but generally this has been the way the Aggies have played from time to time this year. They come off with a slow start and then find their rhythm and are able to inch their way to a win.
1 for 6 shooting for Utah State. And South Florida's actually only at 2 for 6. The defense is taking center stage here. You saw Dayton Albury fighting for that ball, and Reed ends up fouling him.
Yeah, and I think the Aggies are doing a great job defensively. I mean, it's only 5-2, and the Bulls aren't shooting great from the field. It's just the Aggies aren't being able to turn their defensive stops into offense, which is generally what generates them and helps them to build leads.
Good to see Carson Templin back in the game after taking looks like a hit on the head, something like that. Tucker Anderson also checking in. Anderson, the sophomore transfer from Central Arkansas. And another missed shot. And this is going to be a foul on Anderson. Official pointed right at him and said, that's on you, and it's going the other way.
There have been some pretty interesting, most offensive fouls I've seen in the number of periods.
Well, there's a call there. The officiating crew, Vern Harris, Jason Phillips, and Crystal Hogan are referees today, and got another one.
And then, South Florida's great game plan. Come in, put pressure on the Aggies, get them, draw fouls, and make them shoot low percentages from the field. I mean, as a visiting squad, you're in a great spot right now.
Drive and layup, but how about that, fighting for the ball? Brandon Stroud did not give up, and the graduate senior who came to Tampa from Kennesaw State with the coaches and a couple of other players gets the layup, and it's 7-2. And Akano from the corner, another missed shot. And Templin, he can't get the shorty to go. And the Aggies just cannot find a basket, and a foul on Ian Martinez called.
Yeah, when the fouls start racking up like this, it gets really challenging as a player to know how to play the game. And I think that's one thing that it's difficult for refs to understand is the practical effects of how fouls affect momentum. And just with this Aggie team, a lot of these fouls have been close to no calls, and it's just putting a lot of stops to what the Aggies can build.
I'm guessing the refs probably don't care, though.
No. A foul's a foul.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I'm not worried about your momentum.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're right.
But
you're dead on.
That's why I'm a player and not a ref,
yeah.
right?
Well, sometimes you can get to a game and you know, that shot was blocked, but they get it back. Drake Allen with the block. You know what kind of game is going to be called when you see who's officiating it.
Yeah.
You probably knew that back in the day when you were playing.
Yeah. And some of these officials I haven't seen before.
False left 3. Got it! Oh, that's a big one. They needed that.
So like we talked at the start of the game, Mason's the heart and soul of this team. As he goes, so go the Aggies. And so those are things that you're going to love to see from the player like Mason.
Turnover, and shot looked like it was blocked somewhat. The Aggies get it back. And now Anderson for 3. And no. He stepped out of bounds. C.J. Brown also into the game for Deontay Green, 6'9", another one of their big guys, who's a transfer from Florida State.
Well, the Bulls are so athletic. I mean, if you watch them, how they move up the court, they can move that ball, and they're quick off the perimeter, and they're quick off the dribble, and that's putting a lot of pressure on that zone to close out in a way that you can stop the penetration as well. And the Bulls are being able to get by the Aggies and get in to create buckets for themselves.
And Jaden Reed got a little bit of a rest, and now he's back as well. Got a good game going early on. Falsliv, kick out, wide open 3, and Templin hits. Carson Templin, only his third made 3 of the season, Gary.
Well, if Carson can start hitting that shot, that's going to do a lot for Mason, because that play is designed for Mason to get to his right hand and get to the basket. If a player can't help off Carson, that's going to make a big difference for Mason getting open.
And then the missed shot, and here come the Aggies again. Drake Allen, number 8, into the game. Templin rolls to the hoop, got it again. Templin on a little 5-0 run himself.
He's playing with so much confidence lately. I mean, he's coming in, getting offensive rebounds, putting up shots, making baskets. He's doing so much for this Aggie team to help generate this type of style of play that's happening right now.
After waiting about 5 minutes to score, the Aggies on top 10-7, but a sweet-looking lob to Kobe Knox, who's a transfer from this part of the country. He's from Tampa, but he played at Grand Canyon and then transferred to South Florida. Allen just lost the ball. Just lost the dribble, and the Bulls have it. Boy, there is a lot of physicality in the post there, and Dante Green was fouled. He'll be going to the free throw line. As we got a good one, 10-9 our score right now. Inside 12 minutes to play here, first half. Aggie basketball coming to you from Stu Moore Court in Logan on KMYU TV locally and the Mountain West Network. Back here in Logan, they just introduced their new head football coach to this Aggie basketball crowd. There's Bronco Mendenhall. as he was hired by Utah State to take over the football program. Coming up at halftime for our local viewers on KMYU, our one-on-one interview with Bronco. Our Adam Mikulich interviewed him a few days ago, and you'll hear that interview coming up at halftime locally. And Gary, you and I were just talking about the fouls. Already 8 fouls called. That we're basically at a clip of a foul a minute.
Yeah, that's how games go, right? You can never anticipate how the game's going to be called, and you just kind of have to adjust as a player. So that's one of the challenging parts of the game, is it's so dynamic.
That's on pace for 40 fouls.
I don't know if we'll have players left to play the game if we keep on this pace, but.
All right, Dante Green's free throw does not go. He's actually a pretty good free throw shooter at 75%.
Well, it's funny how evenly these teams are matched right now, from turnovers to assists to rebounds. They're on par with each other
dead even
throughout.
And a 1-for-2 trip. And Green will go to the bench, and as they continue to sub in a few players, as Corey Walker, the junior transfer from Florida, checks in. Trying to lob it into Falsley.
That's a very smart play from the Aggies. They have a mismatch with Mason. He is a force down there on the block. Just go to him and see what you can create out of that.
So Jaden Reed gets called for that foul, and that's his second, and that's a big one.
Yeah, just 8.5 minutes into the first half.
Your court leader is already back to the bench with 2 fouls. Oh, what a pass. Falsley looked like he was going to put it up. Instead, he fires it to Akano for a layup.
It's unselfish plays like that create a team. When you're willing to share open shots to get a better shot for your teammate, that's Aggie basketball.
And then defense at the other end. And it looks like he did get a timeout. So a heads-up play. They'll just take a quick 30-second timeout, but a heads-up play by Walker, who is on the ground with the basketball and close to rolling out of bounds.
Absolutely. Every possession counts on the road. And if you're here to play, you got to make heads-up plays like that. And that's one thing that's impressed me about the Bulls thus far, is their ability to just kind of weather the storms and keep playing their game. And they seem like a team that can kind of just hang around enough, make heads-up plays like that to keep themselves in it down the stretch.
This is quite a road trip for a team from Tampa Bay to travel all the way out here. Although earlier in this season, Utah State went all the way to Orlando for that tournament. St. Bonaventure, North Texas, and they won it.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to go.
No. Plus, you could always work in a Disney World trip. I don't know if Coach Calhoun did that.
Well, if any of them can fit on the rides.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I know that's my issue.
I didn't even think about that. That would be tough.
Good inbound defense from the Aggies.
And tipped out by Drake Allen. Allen, the graduate senior for Utah State that played at Southern Utah and then UVU. And he's been a good one, been in the starting lineup all season.
Yeah, and we talked about him game after game, his tough physical defense. He gets his hand in the passing lanes. He just got a deflection there. He's a great pickup for the Aggies.
There's the drive, and up and in for Kaysen Jennings, another one of the Kennesaw State transfers. There's 3 of them on this team, along with most of the coaching staff.
Well, that was just a great finish. But that's what makes this Aggie defense so tough. He gets past one 7-footer and then has to finish over another 7-footer.
Yeah, they've got some size, but so do the Aggies. Oh, and Johnson's shot rolls out, and after the block, he still goes and gets it. And Johnson's not giving up. And how about 4 times the charm?
That's what he has to do. He has to keep being aggressive. He has to keep putting shots up. That's the type of player he is. So if he's not shooting, he's not helping you. So I'm glad to see that he just kept trying to look for his shot there. That's going to help him.
So, Gary, on that possession, he had his shot blocked twice and still came back and scored.
Yes.
So, to your point, yeah.
Right, he just kept coming.
Oh, bad pass, and that's turnover. C.J. Brown throws it down. And we're tied up again.
And I think that's where Mason has to look to improve. He does at times get very sloppy with the basketball. He gets very loose with it. And so that's, as this season improves, as this goes on, that's what people for Mason.
And then he just made up for it. We'll give him that, right?
Right.
Little lob there to Gattaretsi.
Well, there's not much you can say bad about Mason.
No.
I'm just being nitpicky right now, you know?
Sound like a coach. Of course, you were coached by Stu Morrill, so one of the best ever. But
yeah.
Boy, he'd be on you.
Yeah, his attention to detail was amazing.
Out of bounds. It'll go Aggies' way. Mason is a terrific passer, too. You know, if you go right down the stat sheet, he's good. He's a great rebounder. I mean, he averages 6 rebounds a game. He's a scorer. He can hit threes. He can pass the ball. He has had a few turnovers, but nothing that he hasn't been able to overcome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no player's game is free from improvement.
And there's that patented Mason roll to the basket, and Gattaretsi mops up for him.
He is being a force today on those offensive boards. He's coming up with things and giving Aggie second chance after second chance. The Bulls are going to have to adjust for him.
Jordy Barnes has checked into the game, number 5, the true freshman out of Salt Lake City. State champion Olympus High School, where his dad was the head coach, and is a former Aggie himself, as that 3 is up and in for Kason Jennings.
And the Bulls will look to get it to the corners. I mean, that's where the zone is weak, when the Aggies have to rotate on the perimeter and send your bigs out to the corners to close out. Gives them time to get their shot off.
Ian Martinez. And now Martinez is on the scoreboard. That's his first bucket of the game.
Well, in true Ian Martinez fashion, it's just a smooth operator.
Yeah.
Patient, getting in there, put it off the glass for a nice bucket.
I think smooth is the best way to describe his game. Everything he does, whether it's a shot or a drive or a pass, just very smooth. And there's a smooth pass inside, but Johnson there to block Kobe Knox, who's a little slow getting up. And Martinez looking for 3, and he got it.
See, and that's Jordy Barnes, because as he comes down and he pushes it into the paint, he sucks in the defense and gives Martinez an open look.
And now Martinez, I just mentioned he hadn't scored less than a minute ago. He's on a 5-0 run himself. This crowd is working C.J. Brown for that missed shot. That's one thing about this Aggie crowd. They'll attach themselves to one opponent player, and you're going to hear from them the rest of the game.
That poor player that they decide on.
There's a drive, and Jordy's going to end up with the foul on Kason Jennings, who got his body into him and just threw that ball up there so that he could get free throws. And he will be shooting free throws when we come back.
As Jordy plays defense, he seems like he grabbed his elbow right around his hip just to throw that shot up. It's been a couple of those tonight. Aggies just have to be careful with their physical defense.
Players love the hostile environment. They just eat it up.
Oh, yeah. It takes some mental toughness.
Nothing called as Martinez goes to the ground trying to get that layup, and coming the other direction, Stroud loses the ball out of bounds, and the Aggies will get it back.
Well, that was a great recovery on the Aggies. Gattaretsi down below just kind of shouldering the load, putting his body out there, and then causing the turnover.
Jordy Barnes bringing the ball up the court. I mentioned his dad, Matt, former Utah State guard, played here back in 1989 to 1991. And now coaching Olympus High School, where they have state championships, 3 of them in the last decade. Three-pointer is up and in.
These last couple games, his outside shooting has really come alive. He's becoming more confident out there. You would never see him in the first couple games or even last year coming off a pin down screen to hit a 3 at the top of the key. Now he's shooting that shot.
And Paulso's got a couple. Akano, the drive, just left it short. And that ball went off the leg of Jordy Barnes. So Aggies opening up a 7-point lead here with 6 minutes to play
Well, and transition defense is one of the most challenging things about basketball, to be able to have the ball stopped on one end of the court, to get back, find your guy, and stop the ball at the same time is very difficult. And the Aggies did that very well on that last play.
Big Jamil Reynolds back into the game as well, the Cincinnati transfer.
And you'll see Reynolds will come up to the top of the key, set a screen, and roll. It sucks the Aggie defense in and leaves those corners open. So that's something the Aggies are, I mean, it hasn't hurt them yet, but I definitely could see that happening.
Brandon Stroud is still talking with the official. He wants to know, what did I do?
I don't think I was ever allowed to talk to an official that long.
Oh, man, that got pretty fiery. He's fortunate he didn't get teed up. But,
yeah.
You know, he had a conversation and understood what the official told him, and now it's Aggies basketball. Falslip, another three, and he gets another. Mason Falslip. The threes have been falling for this young man. 3 of them.
And like I said, once that basket goes in a couple times, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it feels like you can't miss, and that's when basketball gets really, really fun.
Reed. And now Ian Martinez having the same conversation with Jason Phillips that Brandon Stroud just had with him.
Well, and I think Martinez is upset because Reed had his elbow in Martinez's neck as he was driving. So he was a little frustrated that he got picked up the foul there.
Substitutions coming. Carson Templin back into the game. Gadaretse goes to the bench.
And Martinez, he's got 2 fouls now.
Yeah. So Martinez and Jaden Reed for South Florida each with 2 fouls. So Albury, Akano, Jordy Barnes, Mason Falslip, and Templin, all for the Aggies. And Reed, sophomore out of Westbury, New York. He's a good one.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of confidence. He has a lot of energy and fire to him. He's a great player for the Bulls.
And so young, too.
Yeah.
Kind of like Jordy, just a freshman. Falslip, you saw Reed getting away to that ball, but Aggies come back up with it. And Falslip in the tall timber, and he is fouled going to the basket. 2 free throws coming for Mason.
That's that football in him, because Carson Templin threw him a difficult pass, and he's able to catch that on the baseline through traffic, come up with the ball, and draw the foul. That's a pretty special play.
Yeah, Mason, the 2019 football and basketball champ at Skyview, just up here north of Logan. He was a great football player, too, and played a number of different positions. Little quarterback, tight end, wide receiver.
Well, you can see a lot of football in his basketball play, to be honest.
Yeah.
He is not afraid to be physical.
Nope, not at all.
And in fact, I think his game needs it for him to really be at his best.
10-point lead now for the Aggies, under 5 to play, trying to get to 10-0, something that no Aggie men's basketball team has ever done in 120 years of the sport. And that ball just thrown up and out of bounds by Jamil Reynolds. I think he thought Reed was going to cut to it.
Well, on that double team on the post, that's one of the hardest positions to pass out of. And Mason came down, Carson had him double team, and just put that pressure, made him turn it over.
Jordy Barnes getting some quality minutes here for the freshman in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, he's proven throughout these games that he's a player you can trust out there. He's going to make good decisions. He's going to play good defense.
And he's got a layup. Carson Templin was yelling at him to get into a certain spot on the court, and he ended up cutting all the way around him to the basket. Jordy ends up with a layup.
You just said, I know where I'm going, Carson. Just let me be.
Oh, big guy scoring. Jamil Reynolds turns and scores over Templin.
Hey, I always have respect for a little baby hook on the post. It's one of my,
you got that in your repertoire?
One of my favorite moves.
Well, your favorite move had to have been the flush, but sure.
Yeah, right.
Oh, what a move by Falslip. Up and in. Mason
For people who love basketball, Mason comes up with the basketball plays. He does things that you're just like, how do you do that?
And now Barnes with a steal. He's got Falslave if he wants him. Akano finish. Akano was trailing. And now the Aggies on a roll.
I can see Mason out there sucking wind. He's
a little tired.
He's got to adjust, yeah.
14-point lead for the Aggies. And here they come again.
That was great, smart, disciplined play by the Aggies. Pull it back out, get into an offense, and get a good shot. Keep putting pressure on this Bulls team.
Akano driving on the big guy, Reynolds, and loses it. Three-pointer on the way. Jaden Reed got it. Boy, they needed that desperately.
Yeah, and he's the player we talked about to do it. He's their leading scorer. He's the one that wants to step up and take big shots. And he's showing it out there. He's playing with a lot of confidence.
Two and a half to go here. Good ball game up here in Logan on a Saturday afternoon. Aggies and Bulls and Falslev. Can't get that three to go. But he's been good from long range in this game. Jennings shorts it. 2 minutes to play.
Supposed to be smart. Aggies come down, get an offensive set, get a good shot on this possession.
Templin. Oh, he got that one earlier. Felt like he had another one in him.
Oh, yeah. You make one, that's the license to shoot the next.
Oh, absolutely. Reed kick out. Three is on the way. That's short. It landed right in the hands of Kobe Knox. And now Reynolds, the big guy, launches the three. He's only a 17% three-point shooter, but he'll put him up.
Oh, it looks like he's got the form to shoot it. Just generally like your biggest guys down where he can get the rebounds.
Exactly. Jared Calhoun, coach, imploring his Aggies to switch. And they end up with a turnover that just does bounce in. So Jaden Reed has come out and hit 5 quick points. Under a minute to play here. Sloppy finish to this first half. This was a 14-point lead just a couple minutes ago, and a missed layup. And then is that foul or out of bounds? Out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Well, yeah, that's been sloppy, Gary.
Well, I think for the Aggies, you can see you're missing layups. You're not coming up with things. The Bulls are building on those leads. So that's all indicative of the Aggies not being able to keep their head in the game and build on this lead. So we'd hope to look out, coming out in this timeout in halftime, that they.
We were just talking about Mason Falslev, who's averaging 16.6 rebounds a game. He's already at 13 points and 5 rebounds. Gary's not that far off his average.
And then couple that with 5 assists. He's having he had a full game in the first half.
I mean, there are a lot of players that would love to have those 3 numbers in those stat lines.
Yeah.
So good game for Mason, but Aggies got a little sloppy here, and credit the Bulls for really putting the pressure on in the last minute, trying to tighten this thing up. Shot clock down to 10. Brown's going to drive and kick it back out. Three-pointer on the way. That would be big, and they got it. They needed that.
Well, and that was just patient offense, getting yourself through, getting through your looks, finding open players with a wide-open 3. That was great patience on behalf of the Bulls.
Quincy Adamakoya, another one of the players that came from Kennesaw State, hit that last 3, and another Aggie miss. So how about South Florida? They closed this half on a 5-0 run. It was 37-26.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Fletcher, I'm really happy about the way that this half ended. Players came out, they kept themselves in the game with only a 6-point deficit heading into halftime. They're in a good position for the poised for the second half.
Well, the Aggies have come out in the last few minutes and really flexed their muscles, took a big lead, but the Bulls are the ones that finish the first half on a little bit of a roll. Good Aggie crowd on a Saturday afternoon here at Stu Morrill Court. Aggies trying to get to a perfect 10-0. We've come to halftime for our local audience on KMYU. A one-on-one interview with the Aggies' new football coach, Bronco Mendenhall, is coming up next. Welcome back here, Logan, Utah. Dave Fox, Gary Wilkinson, former Aggie great. And we got a good one here. Utah State leading South Florida 37-31. Always interesting to see how these teams come out of that halftime, Gary, and who really starts to assert themselves.
Well, the Bulls definitely had the momentum going into the second half, so, it favors them at this point.
We'll see if momentum rides through halftime. And a double team, right? You were just telling me a story about shooting out of a double team. Instead, Jamil Reynolds passes it, and it's a layup at the other end for Drake Allen.
And this is like you and I have talked this year. Their defense leads the offense. And to come out, get a turnover, turn it into a layup, that's good signs for the Aggies coming out, like you mentioned, in the second half.
Starts with the double, goes to the turnover, goes to the assist, goes to the layup. Jaden Reed, 0. Gonna have to keep an eye on him. He's got a couple of fouls. And the fight for the ball, and Falslip ends up with it as you saw Drake Allen hustle down to get that.
See, and that's where Reed kind of gave up on the ball thinking it was going out of bounds. Allen just persevered, kept going after it, turns it into a layup. This is great for the Aggies coming up. 2 turnovers coming into the second half.
So as we were just talking, now it's the Aggies who have asserted themselves. A 4-0 run to open the half. And Reynolds doubled again. This time he gets the pass off, and there's a foul underneath called on Isaac Johnson.
And that was, and Isaac Johnson needed to sit below the ball on that double team because that's the one pass that comes out under the basket. Isaac needs to be right there to disrupt that pass.
Brandon Stroud kind of took a hard fall after that, but he's going to the free throw line. 62% free throw shooter, transfer from Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State head coach Amir Abdur-Rahim came to South Florida, brought most of his coaching staff with him. We mentioned in the first half that he passed away back in October. Really a tragic thing for this Bulls team, and they've stuck together though and gotten through it. They keep an empty seat for him at all games on the bench just to commemorate him and what he meant to this group. They got a little patch on their jerseys as well.
Absolutely.
With his initials on it, yeah.
They're a fun team to watch. I mean, they got a lot of athleticism. They got a lot of quickness, shooters. They're a fun team.
Falslip looking for someone. Allen cuts. Oh, and the dish to Gadaretse, who puts it up and in.
That was great ball movement from the Aggies to get it from the top of the key to the perimeter. Good interior passing, finding players and being able to finish through contact.
Turnover. Coming the other way.
So the Aggies have had 3 turnovers out of 4 possessions open the second half.
And so far have scored on all of them. Martinez step back 3, just missed. Stroud comes right back. He's an aggressive young man.
Absolutely, and watching him on the perimeter, his quickness and his ability to get into the lane is impressive.
Kobe Knox fouls Martinez. So a ball out of bounds. Ian Martinez, the leading scorer and free throw percentage shooter in the Mountain West, as Falslip slips in on the inbound play and has a layup.
As a coach, you hate to see plays like that. You prep inbound plays. Every player should know the position. Mason just reads and just backdoors his man for an easy layup.
Falslip already with 17 points. My goodness. Traveling. Brandon Stroud took steps as he put the ball on the floor. He doesn't agree, of course.
Yeah, he hasn't liked many of the calls that have gone against him this game.
He's had a few conversations.
If I was, I'd pass right to while he's talking to the ref.
Yeah, not looking. Martinez tried to slip that pass into Gattaretzi, ends up a turnover.
I just don't think Gattaretzi rolled quite as deep as what Martinez is looking for.
Kobe Knox quiets the crowd with a 3. And again, every time the Aggies make a little run, the Bulls just come fighting back.
Well, that's what we talked about. They're well coached, and they're just not going to let the game get away from too much. They're going to come up with big plays, so at least they've done that so far.
Allen. Oh, that one was a little off. And we've got another foul. And these Bulls players are really struggling with some of these calls.
Yeah, that's at some point you just got to let the game be the game and play through it.
Well, Stroud especially is got picked up a couple that he's not quite understood what is going on here. So good battle for the offensive rebound. Falslev can't believe he didn't get the first one to go back in, and Gattaretski's got free throws coming.
Yeah, I mean, he is a force on those offensive boards. His ability to just clean up the glass. Mason misses here. He goes up comes away with it, and puts himself at the foul line.
Gattaretzi is 64% free throw shooter. This place gets quiet on a normal night, and when you have even less students, but actually there's more students than I thought would be here because they are on Christmas break. But man, they can be quiet.
Yeah, I think there might be some young parents masquerading as students up there.
Yeah, good point. And Gattaretzi misses the second. Young man from Belgium. Transfer from Stetson.
Yeah, he's been a great pickup for the Aggies. This is an important possession for the Bulls. They've been able to chip away at this Aggie lead. Just want to keep continually to put pressure on them offensively.
Got a foul on the floor. Crowd wanted a travel. Kobe Knox kind of lost the ball, but maintained that. So we're going to take a break here. It's been a good competitive second half. Still a game very much up for grabs here. Aggie basketball on KMYU TV locally and on the Mountain West Network. Back here in Logan, Aggie basketball, they've been just on fire in the second half with field goal shooting. 57%, that's just the second half field goals, 4 of 7. Now, South Florida's at 100%, but they've only shot twice.
Well, I think for the Aggies what's boosted their field goal percentage is those turnovers. They turning over the ball, running into easy shots in transition. That helps build the momentum, but the Bulls have been great about weathering the storms and staying in this game and chipping away at the lead and just hanging around.
Mason Falslev continues to be the team leader with 17 points. He is having a heck of a game. 5-second call. We talk about things coaches don't like and things coaches do like. Well, this is one of those cases where the team that got the 5-second call, the coach is in heaven, and the other team's coach is furious.
Right.
You do not get a 5-second call.
Right, especially out of a timeout. You just drew up the play.
Right. Layup, Falslev goes to 19 points. It's kind of like football when you come out of a timeout and then you still don't get the play out before the clock expires.
Right.
You see that occasionally. You're like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, that is a frustrating situation for a coach.
Cool kick out. Knox goes back to the corner for a 3, and again, big shots when they need them. And Quincy Adamakoya out of Bloomington, and a transfer from Kennesaw State as well. And then good defense, and here come the Bulls again, and they've come out with a little urgency. And Reed's teardrop doesn't go. Offensive rebound, and finally Mason Falslev clears things and give him another board. The lob. And Allen can't finish that. Good defense there, but Isaac Johnson mops it up.
Well, tricks out Allen's athleticism. He doesn't get the lob, but he comes down with the rebound, stays in bounds, collects his balance, and then finds Isaac Johnson for a nice, easy put-in. That's a heck of a play.
Reed again. He is so good. And Adamakoya, no, but there is a foul. So Quincy will be going to the free throw line. He's a good one. He's an 80% free throw shooter. Take a look.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulls do a great job of putting pressure on the refs to make a call. You know, Gattaretzi's obviously going to argue that one that he was straight up, but when you go in with that level of intensity and create that level of contact, you always give yourself a chance to get a call.
Here's what the visitors are looking at when they're shooting free throws, and you saw him miss there. And Gary, that's probably why visiting teams in this building only shoot 61% free throws. I was surprised when I read that stat. Yeah, that's the Doug Hoffman and his staff had that in their notes this week. And you look at what they see, and those fans behind them, and all the signs and everything, and it makes sense. So that's a 50% trip right there for Quincy.
Yeah, that
tough building to shoot free throws in.
Absolutely, and the fans have a high basketball IQ, so it
very much
adds to it.
Carson Templin, great ball fake, and he's up and in.
Yeah, he's just got sound post skills. He's great with his feet. He has shot fakes. He's patient down there. I mean, he's only going to get better as he progresses. He's a sophomore now. He's got plenty of time to continue to develop that as a post player.
Reed shorts that. That's a tough shot. And here comes Martinez. He's got Falslev for the finish. What a game for Mason Falslev.
That's a great heads-up play by Ian Martinez as well. Find Mason in transition, get him the ball, and let him finish.
Well, Falslev right now, 21 points. His career high is 32, so we'll keep an eye on that. Or excuse me, that's Ian's. His career high is 28. So we'll be monitoring that. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it. Aggies on top, 54-42. So this is definitely the Mason Falslev game so far. A lot of good performances, but he has more points, 21, than, well, actually nobody else on either team has even hit double figures yet.
And I think that's the thing, and for all young basketball players, is Mason started off the season a little slow, and you can get down on yourself. You can start to lose confidence, and that's what the hard part of the game is. But Mason has kind of found a way to dig deep, find his confidence, and he's playing with it right now.
8 of 14 shooting for Mason right now as Brandon Stroud draws a foul. Jordy Barnes has checked into the game. You see him there. Dexter O'Connell, number 7, is also in the game. O'Connell, the transfer from Oregon State, played 3 years up there at Oregon State. We're coming here to finish up as a graduate senior, and turnover, and here they come. And Falslev lobs. Oh, baby.
Well, there's a 7th assist for Mason and a fantastic finish from Ian Martinez.
That was a beautiful play. And another turnover underneath. Jamil Reynolds does not like that, but credit Kobe Reed for hustling down and getting the ball back. And Reynolds still can't get the ball to go in.
Yeah, the Aggies have done a great job on him by getting him out of his hands, by double teaming him, forcing him to make passes, turning the ball over. And now even the easier shots are becoming tough for him.
Templin, nice roll, up and in. Carson Templin.
Well, it's amazing to see how many of the Aggies just step up night after night. I mean, you can see guys that can put it in double figures every night, and that's such balanced scoring makes the team really difficult to prep for.
This might be an offensive it is an offensive foul, and Brandon Stroud is not going to like that. But Carson Templin stood his ground.
Yeah, those are the plays that we talk about night after night where Templin, extending the arm.
Yeah.
Where Templin comes up with big plays that galvanizes his team and brings the crowd into it. He brings a lot of energy to his team.
So it was less about Templin's position and more about that elbow. But you know what? Templin's a tough enough guy. He can take that. 6'8", 217-pound sophomore out of Fairview, Texas. Barnes will take it back out. Shot clock now down to 5, and Akano will finish up with a layup.
That pass, Barnes' vision to get into traffic, hesitate, be patient enough to find a cutting Akano. Like those, that's intelligence beyond his years.
And that was their biggest lead of the game until the Bulls come down and score. But you are right, and Jared Calhoun has talked about Jordy's basketball IQ, and he's the son of a head coach and a former Aggie player who's taught him well. How about that little shot from Templin? Just a little.
You know it's going
in.
well.
Yeah.
You know you're having
When
a good
that's
night
going
when
in.
that goes in.
And a defense again on the Bulls. They're going to have to kick it back out. Templin holds his ground. No call. Ball's up and in. Jordy brings the ball back out as Coach Calhoun has called his play. Templin posting up. Falslide's trying to get it to him, but Stroud boots it. Tips it out of bounds. Subs coming in. Drake.
The 20.
Yeah, South Florida.
Yes. 18.
Yep. Oh, boy. Mason can't believe that. But here come the Bulls. There's the lob, and there's the finish for C.J. Brown. Every time the Aggies make a run, the Bulls have had some sort of a rally, but the runs keep getting bigger and bigger, so they have more to make up.
Right.
Still down 14, and Falslev's 3 will not go.
If I was Coach Calhoun, I would not be pleased with that possession. It's stuck between Falslev and Barnes, didn't move around the perimeter, and he ended up with just shooting a 3 later in the shot clock.
Well, to answer your question, he's appeared to not be very happy with that possession. Aggies trying to get to 10-0. No Aggie team has ever done it in men's Aggie basketball. That is none. This would be a first.
Well, that's smart by Coach Calhoun to get it down to the block. When you're struggling from the perimeter, not really getting where you want, throw it to Gatoretsy, see if you can get it to the foul line or get a nice easy basket. Oh my goodness. Basket. That's the word I'm looking for. It's either bucket or basket, one of them.
One of the two. Gatoretsy going to the free throw line. 64% free throw shooter. And he got it. We talked about this run the Aggies have been on, and it seems like this goes back to when they were 7-0, and then they won that 8th game, and Jared Calhoun joined Liddell Anderson as the only first-year coaches that won their first 8. So that was an accomplishment in and of itself, and that happened the night the Aggies beat Wyoming just a couple of games ago. So then you wait for them to get to 9-0. They do that by beating Utah Tech, and it becomes the best start ever for a first-year coach. Now you're trying to get to 10-0, and it becomes the best start for any coach. So he's just been on this little run. It's been really marvelous to see.
Well, and that's the thing is Utah State just keeps hiring coaches that set records, that keep pushing this program forward, and it makes it difficult to keep them.
Well, Danny Sprinkle was only here 1 year,
right.
and they had a great season. And before him, Ryan Odom was only here 2 years. And before him, Craig Smith was only here 3 years.
Right.
I don't think you can get any less than one. So, and Falslev with a foul underneath there. But going into today, there are only 7 undefeated teams in the entire country, and it's pretty good country or good company. Florida, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Cal Irvine, Drake, and Loyola Chicago. Those are the only remaining undefeated teams, along with Utah State.
And I think one of the things, I mean, when my senior year, we were on a 17-game winning streak.
Yeah.
And the pressure starts to mount. People start to take notice. You start to get national recognition, and you just have to stay focused on what the task is at hand, and that's just playing basketball and winning. So the Aggies are playing phenomenally, and just can't let the expectations seep into what it is you're trying to do.
Well, on Tuesday night, they host UC San Diego, and that's a decent team. They're 8-2 as of now. They have a game on Sunday. But then things really start to ramp up. They have road games at St. Mary's, their last non-league game, and then they have a game at San Diego State, a game at Nevada, and then you just get into the grind of the Mountain West, and anything can happen at that point.
Right. Well, and that game at St. Mary's will be kind of a defining game for them. That was always our bracket buster game. We'd always end up against St. Mary's, and they're a fantastic school to play against, great basketball venue. And so that will be a great test for the Aggies.
Well, they just came into Salt Lake last week and handled the University of Utah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a good program for years. So yeah, a lot of challenging games coming up.
I remember St. Mary's Patty Mills was at St. Mary's when I was there.
Yeah.
Played against him in Australia as well when the NBA was on its lockout.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Long-time NBA player.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player.
So with the free throw, 13-point Aggie lead. They've been trying to go to Reynolds a little more in this second half than they did in the first half, and he struggled in the post as he has a conversation with Jason Phillips, the referee, saying, hey, they're all over me, man.
Yeah, I mean, he has 4 turnovers himself, and he has to understand immediately when he gets the ball, the Aggies are doubling down and they're swarming him. So he just has to be patient, pass out, and let the game come to him rather than forcing it.
Yeah, they're the second leading scorer at 11 points and good rebounder, too. Martinez. And Ian, a 90% free throw shooter. The Utah and Maryland transfer in his second and final season here in Logan.
Yeah, I wish he had 3 more years.
Yeah, no kidding. Hits them both, and you can see why he leads the Mountain West among all players in free throw percentage as he hits them both there. Oh, that ball's tipped away by Allen. Allen. Falslev. 2 more for Mason.
Yeah, Mason is just his ability to get down the floor in transition and be an available receiver for passes, and his ability to finish just creates problems for defenses.
Three-pointer on the way. Allen tried to get there, but could not get in the way of Jaden Reed. And
you could see Reed in the corner just yelling for that ball. He was ready to shoot it right as it touched his hands.
Falslev now, by the way, with 23 points.
And that was interesting there. The Bulls trying to force Martinez into the trap to come off that on ball and left the middle wide open, so he's able to penetrate, get in there, and draw the foul.
We got a good one here. Aggies starting to pull away, though, trying to get a 10th straight win, a 10-0 start. back here in Logan, South Florida, making the trip. Take on the Aggies. They head right back home. Got a couple home games coming up. Aggies will be back here on Tuesday night against UC San Diego.
And one of the stats that jumps out for me is these 20 turnovers from the Bulls. They have 11 assists to 20 turnovers, whereas the Aggies have 24 assists to 11 turnovers. If you turn the ball over 20 times on the road, it is hard to win.
I feel like a lot of teams that come in here really struggle with hanging onto the ball because the Aggies are so good at their steals and forcing those turnovers. And Martinez again. And Martinez delivers. So Martinez is now into double figures after that trip to the free throw line.
Well, and the thing that's really amazing about Ian Martinez is he is such a prolific scorer, but he doesn't force his game. He's willing to just let the game come to him and put up 11 points, and then he starts to build and build, and that's a real skill.
How about Allen's block shot down there on the baseline? I think Mason Falso felt like they might have run into him. Thought he had drawn a charge, but nothing there.
Yeah, I think he has a fair argument.
Reynolds, boy, he's really struggled in the post with 4 white jerseys all around him, but he manages to put the ball up and in on that trip.
Well, he definitely wants to get to that left shoulder, so he's going to go middle to try to get to that little right-hand baby hook.
And it worked that time. There's the roll for Gateretse. Falslev, drive, reverse, free throws coming for Mason.
Yeah, and Mason's aggressive attacking the basket, his ability to get and use the basket to help him get that shot off to finish on the left-hand side to avoid a block.
So Falslev, 74% free throw shooter out of Benson, Utah, just up north of Logan here. The pride of Skyview High School.
Yeah, they have the beautiful downtown Benson in Cache County.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to beautiful downtown Benson?
I've been up there a couple times. Done a few high school football game broadcasts at Skyview. We'll do more once they build a new press box. Just a quick shout out. I think they know what I'm talking about. That thing's been there for about 40 years, it seems like. So Mason hits them both, and Falslev getting closer and closer. He's 3 points off his career high. Another turnover. Allen's really been good defensively in this game. And corner 3, Martinez. Ian struggled a little bit from 3-point range in this game. Now 1 for 5.
He just keeps shooting. I mean, percentages generally work themselves out, and he's a player that you want to take big shots down the stretch if necessary.
Reed's 3. No. Here come the Aggies. Anderson's going to bring it all the way down court. The 7-footer.
I like Tucker's aggressiveness, looking for a shot, getting downhill. Now the Aggies can just get into an offensive set.
Ian drives, hangs, no call, and here they come. And Reed, little reverse layup, a little too much mustard on it. Here we go. Anderson open 3, and he got it.
See, as we talked about earlier about transition defense, being able to turn the ball over, get back and stop it in transition is very difficult, and the Aggies converting there.
Yeah, I know Anderson's happy to hit that 3. He's struggled this year from 3-point range, under 20%, and he's more than capable of hitting that shot.
Absolutely.
Roll once again, and this time wide open. Reynolds is not going to miss that one. He's used to turning around and seeing 3 guys all around. Nobody was there. under 5 to play. Aggies up by 18. Oh, Anderson, can he hit another? And he doesn't, but Falslev went to get that rebound. Oh, do they? Nobody seems to know what the call is here. Oh, it's just out of bounds, but they're saying, wait a minute.
I think they're calling a foul on Mason.
I think they did, but the ref held up. He held up 11. So I think he had the wrong number. Well, you're right. That is on Mason. So Stroud would go to the free throw line, but everyone was walking around like, who's 11?
Well, it's good news for Mason because it's his first foul, which is not typical for him this late into the game.
Coach Calhoun telling Drake Allen, bring that ball out. Let's set this up. Martinez step back three.
And like I said,
just called another foul. This one on Templin.
I think this one was on the Bulls. I'm not quite sure who.
Oh, it is. It is. My mistake. Templin had a look on his face like, why are you calling it? But he is the benefactor. And Carson will go to the free throw line. He got it. His free throw shooting has steadily improved over the last couple of games.
Agreed.
And just as I say that,
always happens.
Still a 19-point lead for the Aggies, 4 minutes to play. Trying to keep their record perfect, and that ball just sailed out of bounds. Just got out of the hands of C.J. Brown, a little hot.
When the Aggies put pressure on that ball screen, and USF is having a hard time passing out a double team. Either it's from Reynolds or on the perimeter, they're turning it over. So the Aggies are putting great pressure on their ball side defense.
21 turnovers. All right, stat watch, keeping an eye on a couple of things. Mason Falslev, 25 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. So he only needs either 2 rebounds or 2 assists for a double-double. And dare I even consider the idea of a triple-double, which would be 2 more rebounds and 2 assists as well.
Yeah, those triple-doubles don't come along too often at Utah
rare.
State.
He's so close.
Yeah.
But the clock's not in his favor.
No.
With under 4 to play. Bulls showing that full court press, and they got to Ian Martinez quickly, and Stroud again. Oh no, they actually called this one on Jaden Reed. Stroud gave the look like, no.
Well, and that's going to happen is they come out. I mean, they have to turn it up defensively. They have to play more aggressive, and that comes out as the result of that from time to time.
So that's 4 on Reed with under 4 to play.
Yeah, when he picked up those 2 quick ones in the first half, it was going to be hard to leave him on the bench.
Yeah, and he had to go to the bench early, and he'll go to the bench now, but we'll see how long they leave him there. It's a 20-point deficit for South Florida, make it 21. Ian Martinez has really picked up his scoring primarily at the free throw line.
Yeah, he's a guy that can put points on the board all over the court.
Well, he's hit all of his free throws tonight, 6 for 6, but only 1 for 9 on his three-point shooting. So he's getting it done wherever he can. There's a foul underneath. I believe that's on Templin.
The Aggie crowd's always got some
They're
chant.
so entertaining. So Dante Green going to the free throw line is Get a good look there at Jared Calhoun and Green. It's the first I've mentioned before, visiting teams hitting only 61% of their free throws. And sometimes the student section, it's about half full. And it can get even worse. But there's still a good crowd there that he's having to stare into as he's shooting free throws. There's what he's looking at.
I wonder how they pick the signs.
Oh, who even wants to go into the mind of that group? Figure out.
That is a fair point.
Yeah.
That is a fair point.
No
I don't want to know.
All right, here come the Aggies. And quickly down court. And Martinez with the flush.
And there's
9
another
assists. Boy, and Ian did a nice job making himself available down court for that. Paulson looking like the quarterback.
And that's the thing. A good press can really put pressure. But if the press breaks down, it leads to really easy baskets.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam Okoye there with the 3. And Templin can't hang on, but the ball is out on Stroud.
Here's Martinez just going up. He's got some of the most sneaky athleticism.
Sure does.
Of players I've seen. His ability to just get off the floor and elevate is pretty spectacular.
Falsov give him 2 more. He's got 27. He's 1 off his career high. So he's 1 point off his career high and 1 assist shy of a double-double.
And 2 rebounds out from a triple-double.
Yeah. Quick shot up and in for Dante Green. But 2.5 to play. I think he's looking pretty good right now. And here comes Falslev again. Fans are cheering for ice cream, but I don't think they do that promotion anymore.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. They're going to have to just go buy it today. Kick out 3 for a career high, and no.
I think he felt that when he shot it because he backed away from the shot real quick. Every player knows when they're close to 30 and close to a career high, and he's both.
Yeah. Right. That's right.
I remember those nights.
But didn't you tell me you were telling me a story about how you had 20 points or something, and you ended up with 21?
Yeah, it's exactly what Mason did tonight. He was at 21 points with 13 minutes left in the game. And I remember I'm like, I have 21 with 13 left. I ended up with 22.
You scored 1 point the remaining 13 minutes.
I was not a factor.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny.
So you started counting right at 20. You're like, well.
Oh, hey, this is going to be a good night. 22.
Oh, man. There's the drive and an easy layup, really, for Dante Green. Not much opposition on that one. And now 1.5 minutes away from a 10-0 record.
Which this has been a good test for the Aggies as well. This is a long, athletic team that can shoot, that can penetrate. It's a good look at what Mountain West may look like.
Oh, absolutely. Things are going to get extremely challenging when they get into league play.
Got to get a shot up.
And Akana's shot won't go. There's a rebound for Mason. And with 1 minute left, give him the ball.
1 minute left. You got 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. That is that's exciting.
At least give him something.
Right. He's wide open.
And 1. Oh, and Drake Allen holding his head. He hit the court hard. Everybody is paused here. They started cheering initially, but
yeah, you could hear that from where we were.
Oh, man. Well, he looks like he's going to shake that one off and come and shoot his free throw.
Yeah, concussion protocol has changed a bit since when I played.
No kidding. Well, how about this? Falslev's going to come out of the game And, oh, no, he's staying in the game. Okay, because we had a couple of subs come in as Isaac Davis just checked in. Jackson Smith just checked in. But Falslev stayed in, and
I'm glad to see that.
I saw him headed to the bench, and it was actually Carson Templin, and he's like, no, stay there. And Allen hits the freebie, so he appears to be okay. So Jordy Barnes is in. So what do you want to bet the ball ends up in the hands of Mason Falslev if they get it back?
I mean, he's going to hang around those boards, though.
Or you can get a rebound.
Yeah,
it's totally what he's doing. And here comes the rebound if he can get to it. Allen took it away from him. Well, give him the ball. Well, they don't even have to shoot now.
This is where you just, as a player, you were almost there. You just
so close. Oh, just throw that up. No. Well, he's going to finish one shy of his career high and a rebound and an assist shy of a triple-double.
He's got a long career at Utah State. He doesn't need to worry too much about not hitting that right now.
But what a great game, and the Aggies, they'll just give the ball back to South Florida to finish things up. Well, that's fun to see, though, that they at least try to have a situation where Mason might be able to score. And career high.
Putting a 30 points on the board, or
either
a double-double or a triple-double, all things are meaningful.
I'm not sure what we've got going on here. Okay, now we're going to finish things up, and that's going to do it. And congratulations to Jared Calhoun. You are looking at the only Aggies men basketball to ever start a season 10-0.
What an amazing accomplishment. You and I talked, year after year. You're like, how are you going to put this, new team together? How are you going to get them to garner? How are you going to garner buy-in and all of those things? He's able to do it.